Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD here, back again with another video. And of course, while we do have Death Stranding by Hideo Kojima coming out later this year in November, we do have another exclusive for the PlayStation consoles that is coming out a little bit beforehand. And that is, of course, Pixel Opus's Concrete Genie. And we got some news this week about it. We got some previews from a lot of people that are coming out. And I decided to break it down all for you, as well as some of the other news bits that we got about the game. So without further ado, here's some info on Concrete Genie. And all these impressions and all these news will be gathered to us from Pushquare. I will link all of them in the description, all the links I used, and we'll be going over their hands-on on the game, as well as the PSVR experience, as well as going through some details and news about the game moving forward. So overall, you know, from their impressions hands-on, they definitely did enjoy it there at Pushquare. A lot of people are enjoying it, and I haven't heard, you know, really anything bad about it at all. Really, I've heard really good things about the game, so I'm a little bit more sold than I was, you know, yesterday, I'd say. So a lot of people are really enjoying and praising its ability to be able to give the player a artistic way to make a lot of really cool looking stuff. And they say that obviously you'll be able to make as a diverse type of things as Dreams, for example. Obviously Dreams has a much deeper way of giving the player control of different art elements and having them make a lot more different stuff in that way. However, you know, with this game, they say that it is lenient towards a more easier way to make them, as in it's more straightforward, but what you're making is regardless still beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And they definitely still enjoy it, even though there is the absence of a particular feature that they say wish they were there, but hey, seems like it would take a little bit back from how it looks. But overall, pretty good to see that it still looks good without that feature that I'll talk about here in a little bit. So they're saying that the gameplay loop is pretty straightforward, and they were actually pretty impressed by the combat as well. They said that even though some of the enemies felt a little bit bullet spongy and a little bit, you know, just generic in a way, they still like the gameplay loop and how it goes and how you use your brush and how you use painting in the world to be able to create attacks and stuff like that. And they say actually, you know, when you're actually in combat, your brush kind of becomes like a floating broomstick, and you know, do paint attacks towards people, and the more paint that gets on them, the more it lowers the health. So it's pretty interesting to see that there. Really unique take on combat, especially for this game and everything. And it looks like a lot of people were actually praising the game's story and lore and stuff like that. We don't really have a lot. All we know is that kind of we have this kid named Delson Rowe, and he has this imagination where he kind of goes to have like an escape from his life, where he encounters bullies and stuff like that, and just local people that are kind of picking on him. So it looks like, you know, he uses art as an escape, which is a great metaphor and stuff like that. And it's really cool to see that you also have this element where you create these monster looking things that help you throughout the world, and they also give you super paint, which you can use to clear off some of the like infected areas. So like you will see some like infected, I guess, stuff on walls and everything, and to be able to clear that out, I believe that's a way to kind of close you in, and it gives you, I guess, a sense of progressing through the world. I believe is that some parts of the world are covered with this gunk and stuff like that. You get super paint to be able to clear that gunk to be able to, I believe, move forward into the game. So it's pretty cool to see the kind of dynamics there, and really cool that there. But overall, you know, from what I've read from previews, people are liking it, so it looks to be a really, really good one. Now they are a little bit down here on the PSVR. So they did say that PSVR support is not coming to the base game of Concrete Genie. However, with your purchase of the Concrete Genie game, if you have a PSVR, you can use and experience this PSVR experience for Concrete Genie. And so it's not the exact game. You're essentially in a bunch of different settings and stuff like that, and you have a free paint option where you can just paint different things and stuff like that. And people were a little bit underwhelmed, even though it was a really cool thing that they said at the end of the day. And it's not like they advertised it as a PSVR mode. It's a separate experience for Concrete Genie. It's not really a part of the main game, but a lot of people, you know, were still nonetheless pretty impressed with it, even though they were a little bit let down at the fact that it's not really a full PSVR mode in the full game. And so that was that right there. So that, you know, so those are the impressions overall. Very good impressions, you know, for the game and everything, and I'm pretty excited about it. And you can get your hands on this game October 8th, and so that's when it's coming out officially. And they did announce some really appealing prices here, which I guess could tell. I'd say maybe the length of the game. I don't know about the quality of the game, because you know, like a lot of people really like the game, and maybe people were feeling a little more up on the game because of this price. But it's gonna be $30, which is a great price for a game like this. I'm definitely gonna pick it up for this price, definitely 100%. However, if you want to get $10 more and pay $40, you'll be able to get the digital deluxe edition, which includes a few goodies. And so the goodies here are a digital soundtrack, a digital art book, pond design pack. Not sure what that is, but pretty cool to see that there. I think that's gonna be some DLC for the game. I guess you can make a different aesthetic, possibly. That could be it, not sure. But lighthouse dynamic theme for your PS4, as well as a pre-order bonus. There's a few pre-order bonuses that you get as well if you, I guess, pre-order through the PSN store. You can get Concrete Genie avatars, as well as a Denska dynamic theme. So like another theme you can get for the game as well if you want to drop some things there. But the soundtrack, art book, design pack, and the lighthouse dynamic thing, I believe, are for the digital deluxe edition. However, the pre-order bonuses are the avatars and the other dynamic theme, and the full game is either $30 or $40 depending on your edition. So pretty nice pricing right there. I like that a lot. That's really good pricing for the game. Definitely really good to hear that there. Next up, the feature that I talked about beforehand that will not be featured in this game, unfortunately, and we have some explanation with some quotes here to kind of see what they were thinking as well, is that there is no HDR support, which if you've seen the game, you're seeing on screen, I'm presuming. It is a very vibrant, colorful game and stuff like that. And so obviously with them colors, it would be really cool to see HDR with this game. However, it is not there at launch. They said, quote, "Here's the thing. One of the tricky aspects of being a small team is that you have to really pick your battles. And so when we're embracing the PS4 Pro, we had a certain amount of chips to spend, and we were looking at the options in front of us. Do we go for 4K mode, or do we go for a true proper HDR mode? One of the things we found with this particular art style is that because there's such high contrast when you play it on an HDR TV, you get a lot of benefit anyway. So we decided to go for 4K support." So it looks like they kind of, you know, were just looking at the terms of, hey, we're a small studio, we don't have a lot of staff to really work and make the game and have all the features that we dream the game could have. And so we were looking at, all right, what's going to be the best for most consumers. And when they just, I guess, came to the conclusion that even if you have a HDR enabled TV, the game does naturally still already look better in terms of vibrancy and colors and stuff like that. So they figured, hey, why not just double down on the 4K support and go off that, which I think is a smart way to go about it. Honestly, I think it's a very honest and smart way to go about it. And so they did ask again, I believe it was Push Square asked if they would ever, you know, double down and do an HDR mode in the future. They said, quote, "Can't commit to it right now." And so they say, you know, we can't commit to it. We're not going to say 100% yes, but I honestly really praise their honesty here. I think this is great. Definitely makes sense for me. The way they explained it definitely makes sense, straightforward. More people, I believe, I would bet, have 4K displays as opposed to HDR displays. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a fair assessment to make. But pretty cool to see that you know, 4K support is going to be there. However, HDR is not. And lastly here, they did confirm some photo mode. Okay, so of course, you know, photo mode you all know very well. It's been very famous with games like God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, etc., all that good stuff. And they're of course going to have it here. They're going to have your traditional photo mode features that you would come to expect. Field of view sliders, different filters, camera placement, I'm assuming bokeh, etc., all the good stuff we'll be seeing, saturation, brightness, all that good stuff. I'm sure that will all be in there. However, they took it a step further and they're going to expand on photo mode, at least for this game, and they're doing a new feature called replays. And so this is where you will be able to, I believe, I guess, start and stop a recording of a time lapse of how you create your perfect snapshots. And so you can actually integrate it into the creative process and have people have a replay of you creating your photo in photo mode, which I think is a great idea. That's a really neat way to do it, because now I'm wondering if it's just the way you're editing the image in photo mode, or if it's how you actually pull off and paint a maneuver in the actual game, which I think could be a really cool addition as well. But they you know, basically put it out there that they have that going on there. Not sure what they mean by a time lapse of either you like editing the photo mode or you creating the creation, you know, that you're making in game. It could be both, not sure, but again, nonetheless, really cool feature that I found to have, and it's a really neat thing to have in that game. So that's kind of been all I got to talk about with Concrete Genie. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What feature are you most excited about? What do you think about the inclusion of 4K and no HDR? Are you going to get the game? Does the price sell you a little bit more on the game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And make sure also while you are down there to check out our description where you can find our Discord and Twitter. Follow us on there, as well as leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.